Growing up, it was, you know, I had a really great childhood. I was the youngest of four. My mother and father both really cared for us a lot and did everything they could to make sure that we were able to do all the activities that we wanted to do. Things really changed for me from the age of 7 to 12. During that time, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. When I was 12, she passed away. At that point, I really got a reality check of sorts and had to start to deal with emotions and things that most kids don't need to deal with at that time, of depression, of grief, of loss. My mother was like my best friend, you know, my everything. Everything changed and I became depressed. When I went to college, I went to Northeastern University, and I kind of went into a field that I thought would be practical. When I first started working, it was all going well. And then kind of the reality set in for what my day-to-day work would be, and I started to really decline. It got to a point where I couldn't handle it myself anymore. I couldn't even pick myself up out of bed to go to work in the morning. And at this point I was 23, knowing that I didn't like the work I was doing. I didn't know what else I would do, and just feeling really hopeless and helpless. I was diagnosed with bipolar. It was tough for me. I was surrounded by my caring family that all wanted me to get help and support, but what I saw was fingers pointing at me. I think it was proof of their point that there's something wrong with me. I actually came to FHR in August of 2009. That's where it really began.
She resided for a short period at one of our 24-hour staffed sites. She moved, becoming more independent, to an up to 8-hour staffed supported apartment program, and eventually out on her own. We watched her grow and become more and more independent with reaching her goals that she identified in her own person-centered treatment plan.
I started volunteering at the day program at one of the group homes. I started to feel like this is, you know, comfortable. I like helping people. And I like helping my peers, people that can relate to what I'm going through. And I was approached and encouraged to apply for the peer position that had been open.
She finally had a goal of wanting to become a certified peer specialist, which we helped her through a treatment planning process with that. And she wanted to work here at FHR. She obtained her certification and she just excelled. She had it in her. She brought such a different aspect to the team. It was the first certified peer specialist that we had ever had on our team.
A few weeks into the job, I felt really inspired and started to write again, to write poetry, you know, in rhythm, in rhyme, so kind of raps. I'm not a victim that'll cower or shudder. There's more to this worry than a simple cookie cutter. It captures a moment of how I was feeling at that time. And cookie cutter is the moment where I started working again and, you know, saw that the future was mine, and, you know, I can be independent, I can live my own life, and I can be well and happy.
Wherever she sets her mind to for her goal, she'll get there.
It's so amazing to me to really be able to use all the experiences that I've been through in life and the things that I used to be ashamed of. I can now use those as tools to share with other people that are going through the similar thing. And I wouldn't be here working in this field that I love without going through everything exactly the way I did. I know my mom is proud. That's kind of my belief, that she was a very resilient woman, and a big piece of any recovery is resiliency. And you know, for me to go through everything, through the highs and lows, and of which they have been, you know, pretty low lows, of all those experiences, I've been able to get through them and move forward and fight the good fight.